Hi, one forum is bringing to the best. Please kindly subscribe to this channel. Your comment and all likes will be highly appreciated. Yes, we are taking a look at the DR Congo War, the M23 advancement. Yes, all the technocrats are in Qatar, Doha, fighting so hard and putting measures in place so that this will come to an end in terms of peace agreement. The boots on the ground are not giving space at all. They've taken over more cities and towns in DR Congo. But this time, not only in the eastern part, but they move further. And they've taken a strategic town by name Lu Nyasegi. Yes, that's a town that they've taken. Though the peace agreement, even we already have the draft, yes, in Qatar, the Qatarian capital, Doha. Yes, but as we speak, no, these guys are not giving way at all. Meanwhile, they all agreed to a ceasefire. But this very one, the takeover wasn't easy because the government forces, I'm talking about the government of DR Congo, the forces also put in a fight, and at the end, 7 of the government soldiers also died. In total, we have about 17 people dying. Those are the people that have been accounted for. When it comes to taking over a whole community, it's not an easy thing because one person will be resisting and the other will be fighting. And definitely, the civilians and the vulnerable people will become the casualties as we are hearing today. So the 17, there may be some number of people that are not accounted for, but technically, or what we have now, the report that we are getting is the 17 people that died. Even if it's one life, it's not an easy thing. It's something that must be condemned. Yeah, so tragic that this is happening. But we are praying very hard that there will be peace. This whole thing started as the M23 rebels, as well as their supporters or their backers, they also have their coalition, yes, even those that are representing them in Doha, yes, they have their technocrats that represent them in Doha, but the boots on the ground, they are still making advancement, taking over things or taking over communities and towns. Yes, this whole thing started long ago, but the prominent aspect of it was what happened in January 2025. We heard about this, we follow the news, and we are still following the news to bring you the best. Yes, the president of DR Congo is so desperate, he called on SADC, that is the southern part of Africa, the coalition over there, the group over there. He called on the eastern part. They've not been able to help. As we already know, the SADC people, they withdrew their soldiers. Yes, that is how sad it is. And desperately, they call on Chad also to help them. I'm talking about Felix Kadade and his people. Yes, they call on Chad to help them. As you already know, Chad is also in a mess. Yes, Chad is not a country that should be called on to help other countries. Why? Because they also have their problems, their equivalent of great problems that they must solve themselves. And the spillover of the DRC war is having a toll on Chad. That is why there's a need for peace to prevail in DR Congo. That's the only way that things can be restored or brought back to normalcy. Already we've lost millions of people and people have been displaced, and also there are a lot of casualties. Yes, there are people that are without their arms, they are without their legs as a result of this. And even what happened in the past, yes, some people were sacked or driven away from the camps that belongs to the soldiers of the government, and the M23 rebels have taken over that. This whole thing needs to be resolved so that there will be peace in that region, because anything that happened in DR Congo will affect both the eastern part of Africa as well as southern part of Africa, and by extension the whole of Africa. Why? Because we all live with one another. That's why there is a need for the powers that be. Let cool heads prevail so that there will be peace in DR Congo. That's what we are praying for. In Doha, the Qatar Doha, they are working so hard for this to be achieved. Why? Because, maybe they are capable of bringing the two parties together. That's the only way. When it comes to issues like this, there is a trust issue. So the only person that can bring this to a very great conclusive end is somebody that both parties trust and trust so much. That is what we are praying to be achieved, so that there will be peace in DR Congo one day. As soldiers from other countries, as a result of their casualties and other things, they are withdrawing from their country, which is not going to serve very well for the government of DRC. We need peace in DRC. That's all that we are counting for. But let peace prevail. Thank you so much. And kindly subscribe to this channel. One forum is for the best when it comes to anything and everything about security and crime and politics of Africa and historical antecedents. Will be right here to bring you the best. Your comments and your likes will be highly